Good morning, men and women of goodwill. I salute each and every one of you this morning. How was your night? And how was your day? And how is your morning going? I greet each and every one of you from my end. I salute you from here, men and women of goodwill. We are here this morning to continue the propagation of our gospel and also to send the message to the appropriate quarters for a better understanding of what it stands for and what should be the stand and the case of our leader. Our leader is not a criminal, he's not a terrorist, he's not anything threat to humanity. Rather, our leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is humanity himself because he's speaking for everybody that is in Africa and in the world at large. So we are here this morning to deliberate on what the judge ruled on, or what that will be discussed about our leader, what they are going to rule on. That is what we are here to deliberate on this morning. Because when I got this message yesterday, when they said on March 19 to 20, they will work on bail terms. Our leader is only a criminal, somebody that have been convicted, somebody that have committed crime. That is the only person you work on his bail terms. But somebody that you committed a crime against, what should be done for that person is unconditional release and the paying of compensation for the violation of his human right. What I want to ask this morning is, are you going to work on Mazi Nnamdi Kanu bail based on what? Based on you went to his home in 2015 to kill him and you did not succeed? Or are you going to work on his bail term based on you went to Kenya, kidnapped him, extraordinary renditioned him, tortured him for 8 days, and God in his mercy sustained his life, even though his health is deteriorating on daily basis? On what basis are you going to file for bail terms for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? If you look at the pictures on the screen, you will see pictures there, 4 pictures there. 2 on the above are the pictures of our leader in the court yesterday. And 2 other pictures beneath it are the pictures of one, our Prime Minister Mazi Simon Ekpa, and the other one, the Carol White, the most trusted, so-called most trusted lawyer of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, like he said. But we'll not go to that now, but we'll come to that later. But what I want to say this morning is that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has committed no crime to man, known to man, but rather the state of Nigeria has committed heinous crimes against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. So if there's anybody that needed to be bailed, it should be Nigerian state that should be put in prison. I should be talking about being freed from the prison that they are in, because they committed a terrorism act against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, violating his mental human right by kidnapping him from Kenya to Nigeria and keep him incommunicado for 3 years. 3 years now. So if there's a that he needed bell terms, it's not Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. What Mazi Nnamdi Kanu need, what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, what should be done for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is unconditional release of him and adequate compensation for the violation of his human right. Then, if there's any other thing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu want to do on his own, if you want to file charges against Nigeria, that is for him to do. If he didn't want to file any charges against Nigeria, that is for him to do. But Mazi Nnamdi Kanu should not be discussed on the basis of we are going to negotiate on your bail term. That is insulting to us. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu should not be discussed on his bail terms. He should be discussed. The lawyers should tell the Nigerian state, prove to Nigerian state that this man, as they have proven beyond any reasonable doubt, because law court of Nigeria has acquitted, discharged and acquitted him. So they should stand on that very fact that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu did not need any bail term. What he needs is unconditional release, and that is fundamental human right. Because the violation of his human right was done by the state of Nigeria. And the same state of Nigeria keep him incommunicado for almost 3 years now. Finding fault where there's no fault, and they've not been able to find anything. So Mazi Nnamdi Kanu should be released immediately. I'm going to play one video for us here before we will come back to these two pictures beneath this video. I will say something on these two pictures beneath the video. On this on one of the personality there and one of the flavor on these pictures beneath. Let's look and listen to this video. Let's watch this video that I'm about to play now. Let's listen to this video. And from what you will hear from this video, you will be able to align it with what we are saying, and you'll be the judge to know whether what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu need now, whether it's a bail terms or an unconditional release. That is what I want to bring to us. Let's listen to this video.
Nnamdi Kanu, and he survived and escaped. Nnamdi returned to Russia. He was immediately arrested and put in jail, solitary confinement. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was minding his own business in Kenya when he was illegally abducted, renditioned to Nigeria, and put in jail, solitary confinement. Same situation.
I want you to take cognizance of that word. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was in Kenya minding his own business, and the Nigerian state went after him and kidnapped him and put him in solitary confinement all the way from Kenya for doing nothing, for committing no crime known to man. You went all the way You went all the way to Kenya, adopt a man that was minding his own business, and you put him in solitary confinement. And everybody today is paying a blind eye to this very act of the Nigerian state. How? Everybody is paying a blind eye to this very act of the Nigerian state. The Nigerian state acted in violation of the fundamental human right of person.
This is what we're here today, is to protest the killing of innocent women and children.
This is the same man, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, in 2012, 2013, advocating that Nigeria should be amended, advocating that the leaders of Nigeria should look into the suffering of the people. So Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was not in that DSS dungeon today as a result that he is fighting for his immediate family. He's not there in that DSS confinement, solitary confinement, as a result that he's fighting for his own personal gain. But as a result, he's fighting for those that are Biafrans and those that are not Biafrans. He's fighting collectively for everyone that is living in Nigeria, this nation that have been trapped under Nigeria. He's fighting for them, that the government should begin to implement policies that will favor the interests of these people, that will give them job, that will create social amenities, that will create factories, that anybody that graduates, as you come out from school as a graduate, you will have a job to do, that they should build schools that will enable the citizens, even if your parents did not have money, even if you're coming from a poor background, you'll be able to afford to go to school. Even if you don't have any money on you, you should be afford. The school should be affordable for you, that the government should create an enabling environment for the citizens. This has been the cry of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu from the day one. So Mazi Nnamdi Kanu did not just wake up from one morning and begin to agitate for Biafra. No, he started by telling the powers that be in Nigeria that there's something fundamental wrong, that there's something wrong with the system of Nigeria, and that is needed to be addressed, that this thing needed to be looked into. But the Nigerian state said no and paid a blind eye to this particular call by Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Before Mazi Nnamdi Kanu now take decision and said, if nothing is to be done, if nothing will be done on this system and this feeding bottle system of way of life of Nigeria, that he's going to champion the cause of his own people, which are the Biafrans, over 80 million Biafrans, that he will champion the cause of our freedom, saying that Nigeria has become irredeemable. That is when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu started championing the cause of Nigerian freedom. And today you're seeing what is happening. Was what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said 2012, and what is happening today, and what he's been saying since 2015, 2016, 2014, 2017, 2018, till date. What have changed? Have Nigerian state been able to prove Mazi Nnamdi Kanu wrong? The answer is no. But what did Nigeria want from Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? Remain silent. Do not speak. See no evil. The approach of Nigerian state from the day one has always been see no evil, hear no evil, and speak no evil. Dino Melaya, one of the senators in Nigeria, those people that go to Abuja every month to share money, said that Nigeria is a country where if you speak the truth, you will die. If you say, okay, let me start lying, you will also die. And he said, it's better I speak the truth and die. And this is what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have chose to do, to speak the truth. But the difference is that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not going to die for the truth he speak. But those that he speak the truth to, that refuse to listen, will face the otherwise. So Mazi Nnamdi Kanu crime today is because he sees the pains and the suffering of the people and the impending danger, a looming danger. Had they been the Nigerian state listening to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu 2012, there will be no Boko Haram today in Nigeria. There will be no ISIS. There will be no Asaru. There will be no headers. There will be no terrorists today ravaging the north. And those ones they say they have repented that they are putting into the army. There wouldn't have been any of this. All these things that are reoccurring on daily basis, all these occurrences wouldn't have been there. But for the fact that the Nigerian state are hell-bent, going to pay money to the terrorists, paying a whopping sum of 100 billion naira to the terrorists in the name, oh, we are paying terrorists not to come to Nigeria and attack Nigerians. And the moment you made this statement, terrorists from all walks of life begin to flood the borders and shore of Nigeria and begin to slaughter and maim people. But the reason you said you paid, the reason you pay ransom, the reason you say you're now repenting them and integrating them into the army is for the killings to stop. But since then, the killings has continued unabated because you cannot repent a terrorist. You're not God. You cannot repent a terrorist. And the terrorists that repented cannot be put back in the system. But Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is still languishing in the detention. Every now and then they will put up a court case, and at the end of the day they will postpone it. Every now and then for more than 3 years, and have not been able to prove any case against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. The Nigerian state, I know, had it been they have any point, even if it's one, against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, would have ruled against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu with that single one point they hold, that single evidence they have against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, as this is the crime you committed. But for the fact that the Nigerian state has no justification whatsoever, they don't have any justifications whatsoever, they don't have any proof to show to the court, whether competent or incompetent court of jurisdiction, to show to them that this is what we have against this young man that made us to kidnap him. This is what we have against this man that made us to violate the international laws to execute law. Because it's only in Nigeria that I see a nation that said they have laws, rules and regulations. We go and violate another law to implement or to execute another law. It's only in Nigeria that I've seen such thing happen, that you violate a law to execute another person of a crime you have not proven him guilty of. You have him 2015, you did not prove any point. Rather, you went after him in assassination attempt that failed. And that is not enough. So to silence him and deplatform him, you went all the way to Kenya where he's minding his own people. And that is not enough. And they have kept him against his will, violating his fundamental human right, violating every known laws, just to make sure that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is kept incommunicado, unreached. But what the Biafrans today, I don't know if anybody can still hear me. Can anybody still hear me? Please, the audience, can somebody just write? This is the type of judgment you get in Nigeria. Nigeria is the only country where criminals are working freely, being given a first class honor treatment, but an innocent people are wallowing in dungeon, in prison, dying. Innocent people are being kept in solitary confinement. But those that should be in life imprisonment are living in affluence. They are being given a royal welcome. They are being given a red carpet because of what Nigeria stands to represent. Nigeria did not stand to represent the will of the common man. It represents the will of the criminals in the hierarchies. That is why Mazi Nnamdi Kanu cannot be given judgment for 3 years. That is why the Nigerian state cannot obey their own law and stand to face whatever charges that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will place and ask him for forgiveness for violating his right, for dehumanizing him. But rather, they pulled down every structure, every known laws that the human beings has ever known. They put down on them just to silence one man. You are committing crime to execute justice. It's only happened in Nigeria. You commit crime to execute justice. Then who is going to execute you for the crime you committed? Oh, that your own crime should be looked over because the person you are after is actually a Biafran man, is an Igbo man. So any crime you committed in the process of executing a Biafran is not a crime. It is a justified process of capturing a man that is agitating to free his people from a contraption that has a looming danger that is standing on gunpowder. So going all the way to Kenya, breaking international laws and the tribunal judicial him is not a crime on the side of the government. The only crime is that person that was using radio, he wasn't using arms or ammunition, he wasn't using anything, he was just speaking the truth to power. And for the fact he speaks the truth to power, he suddenly becomes a terrorist. Because once you speak to the powers that be, automatically you become a terrorist. Automatically you be regarded as a terrorist. But will that make us to now say, okay, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, since this has been the fate, since speaking the truth has become a sin, let's all abandon what is happening and embrace whatever the Nigerian state has to offer. That is a kind of, that is an abortion of judgment and justice. And the Biafrans will not have that. We will follow the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu until he gets justice. And that justice must be served. Let's listen.
Tried to kill Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and he survived and escaped. Nnamdi returned to Russia. He was immediately arrested and put in jail, solitary confinement. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was minding his own business in Kenya when he was illegally abducted, renditioned to Nigeria, and put in jail, solitary confinement. Same situation. Anybody that cares about democracy, the first thing that comes to mind is not to let Mazi Nnamdi Kanu fate become what we just saw. And that's what got me excited. We've been quietly trying to get a coalition of people to actually demand
So, dear friends, I don't know if anyone can still hear me. Can anyone still hear me? I don't know if anyone can still hear me. I don't know what is wrong with this network. It has been unfair to us. It has been unfair to us for some days now. Since yesterday, the network has been very, very unfair to us. But we must have to continue. We must have to continue. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is the case study of today. A man that have done nothing to the Nigerian state, that is being kept in solitary confinement for doing nothing, for doing just nothing. Let's continue.
Government tried to kill Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and he survived and escaped. Nnamdi returned to Russia. He was immediately arrested and put in jail, solitary confinement. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu
This is why we're here today, is to protest the killing of innocent women and children. Those of us in the UK are determined to work with the government for peace. We are determined to work with the government for peace. One thing we cannot stomach is a repeat of 1966. What is happening today in Nigeria was the reason why Nigeria fought a bitter civil war for 3 years between 1967 and 1970. If this continues, there will be another civil war in Nigeria.
And what our leader said as early as 2013, is it a lie? That if what is happening in Nigeria today continued, if what is happening in Nigeria as early as 2013, that if it continues, it is going to bring another genocidal war in Nigeria. Is it a lie? When Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was saying all this, the Boko Haram are still not there. Everything, all these things that are happening today in the north, in Nigeria, the system have not been this deteriorated. Everything have not gone down the drain like this. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was calling because he's seen the future of Nigeria. And everybody paid the blind eyes to what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is saying. Rather, those people that are hell-bent to see that Nigeria is Islamized and whatever they are looking for in grabbing people's land are hell-bent that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu should be silenced for speaking out and saying the truth.
And this time around, no place will be safe in Nigeria. This time around, nobody will be safe in Nigeria. So it is imperative that everybody who has the interest of the country at heart act now and immediately to stop this nonsense from continuing.
And the problem is that nobody has the country at heart. Nobody has the country at heart to act or in this unity to stop this nonsense from continuing. For what you're seeing in Nigeria to stop reoccurring, we needed those that have Nigeria at heart. But unfortunately, 2013, there's nobody that has Nigeria at heart, and that's why they allowed it to deteriorate to this extent it is now, because Nigeria was artificially created. But those that has Biafran at heart, which Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is one of them, which Mazi Simon Ekpa is one of them, which many of us, over 80 million of us, has Biafra at heart. And today we are campaigning and championing the cause of total emancipation of Biafra from Nigeria. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu throwed every weight to see if there's any way Nigeria can be salvaged, until he drew the conclusion that Nigeria is irredeemable. And since then till now, has Nigeria proven Mazi Nnamdi Kanu wrong? The answer is no. Why? Because Nigeria was never meant for the interests of the people, but for the interests of those that made it.
The Nigerian government has its own way of...
What you're now seeing is what that happened when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is kidnapped. 2015, and kept incommunicado like this again. Then in 2016, 9th February is exact the same month that we are in now. 9th February 2016. Biafrans, men, women, children gather in a high school, Aba High School, to pray and show their solidarity to their leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and the Nigerian Navy Air Force. All the forces that Nigeria had combined together and unleash mayhem. On those people, Biafrans were not protesting in the street in that fateful day, 9th February 2016. They were not at the government house, that even if they were on the street, it is their civic right. Even if they were in the government house or blocking the road that leads to the government house protesting, it is the right of the citizens to protest. But for the fact that Nigeria don't want anything that has to do with people rising up and speaking for the ordeals of their people or the suffering of the people, Nigerian state want all out, as if they are going on mortal combat, as if they are going on war, and they unleashed mayhem on our people on that fateful day.
Dealing with peaceful gatherings it doesn't like. The day began with
This day began, our people begin to gather on that Aba High School. In that Aba High School. This high school was fenced, has a gate and everything. So they went to a place that will be so our people, sorry for that break in transmission, is the network. It keep happening and reoccurring. But you are not going to get tired. We'll keep on preaching the gospel. These people gather themselves in Aba High School. It's just for you to see the things that made Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to rule all out, that this particular country is irredeemable. That there's nothing you can do to redeem this very country. Nothing. Nothing whatsoever will any man do to redeem this country. That went all out as if they are going to combat with their fellow soldiers, as if there's an external aggression, or maybe the territorial integrity of Nigeria has been broken or invaded. They never acted like this. They never acted like this when an invasion takes place in Nigeria. But the only time they will act like this is whenever their citizens, if you talk about NSAS, they will go and remove cameras in Lekki Toll Gate and massacre their citizens. Whenever the citizens rise up and say no to what they are seeing, that this inhuman treatment need to be addressed, that is the only time you see the Nigerian police and the army, navy, air force in action. But they will never carry out the same act whenever their people are being invaded by external forces, which themselves programmed and pay to come and invade the citizens. Because it's unfortunate that many people that are the leaders of Nigeria are not indigenous to the land. They are all foreigners. All of them, Panon, are all foreigners. And that is why they will never support anything.
way of dealing with peaceful gatherings it doesn't like. The day began with a gathering.
This and many more are the reason Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said he will never give up on people.
Of people come to pray for the release from prison
Do you see people praying?
of one of their leaders.
Provide us some evidence that IPOB's a terrorist group. More than 2 years later, still zero. You can't make free speech.
Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was kept incommunicado for 2 years. The first time he was arrested in 2015, and Nigerian government did not prove any point against him. And they kidnapped him again and extraordinary rendition him again in 2021, and still could not prove any point and anything against him for more than 3 years now.
And freedom of association terrorism. Every single day that he languishes in that solitary confinement is another to humanity.
The protest that you saw, where you saw the army shooting people, innocent, unarmed citizens, that took place in 2016. Okay, our people came together, as they have done several years before, okay, to honor their fallen heroes, those that fell in the Biafran Nigerian Civil War of 1967 through 1970. So they gathered, this is a high school. They were not on the street protesting, no. They were not in front of the House of Assembly with placard protesting, no. They were not marching or causing insurrection anywhere, no. They were in a particular place. You have to go through a gate to come into the school premises. That's where they gathered. And that's where the combined forces of Nigerian Army, Air Force, Navy, DSS came in there, took a combat position on the ground, and opened a live ammunition. And at the end of the day, they murdered.
At the end of the day, they ended up killing so many people. Killing so many people that cannot even be numbered. And that is not the end. That is not just the end of it. They did not just kill the people on that fateful day, but those ones that they killed, they packed their dead bodies, throw them.
And this
was
reported by Amnesty International. It was all over the globe. And to make matters worse,
to make the matters worse, those people that they killed, they threw them into a pit and poured them raw acid. That is how Nigeria treats the so-called citizens of theirs because they know they are not their citizens, that these are Biafrans. Why? For calling that people should live as human beings, have good school, have running water, have a basic education, have factories and many things, many other things that makes life easy for people. This is the only thing that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu called for, and the Nigerian state called for his head. The Nigerian state called for his head, that they should bring him to be killed. For doing
Worse, they took their body and dumped them in a mass grave where they poured acid on these children. So they become unrecognizable. So how could somebody tell me or convince
people that treated their citizens in this inhuman treatment? How can somebody convince any Biafran, convince Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, convince Simon Ekpa, the Biafra Republic government in exile, that actually that these people have something good in store for any Biafran? Mazi Nnamdi Kanu did not need any bell terms. What he needs is unconditional release. That is what the Biafrans are demanding for, unconditional release of our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, that have not done anything or commit any crime known to man. Now, let's look at the picture that I told us earlier that we're going to look into. That is beneath this, our leader picture. By my left-hand side is our Prime Minister, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. By my right-hand side is the Judas in the person of Ifeanyi Ejiofor, the Karo White, a betrayer of trust, a betrayer of the man that he claims and pretends to be working for, but not knowing that he is the direct enemy, the most deadliest enemy that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu had. Because the worst enemy that you have is those enemies that are very close to you. Enemies you have in the house. Enemies in the house. Ndị Igbo si na ilo dị n'ụlọ dị ka agwọ abalị. Enweghị onye ma ebe o dowere isi. Ilo dị n'ụlọ dị ka agwọ abalị. Enweghị onye ma ebe o tiri isi eti. That is how Ifeanyi Ejiofor become in IPOB. And everyone was clamoring, energizing Ifeanyi Ejiofor. Oh, the brilliant lawyer, the erudite this one, erudite that one. Not knowing that this erudite is erudite in criminality, erudite in betrayal, erudite in selling out his client to the opponent, to the enemy, erudite in ganging up with those that are seeking for the life of his client to hand him over to them for a bread, for just a spice of bread, a piece of bread. But thank God for Mazi Simon Ekpa. Without Mazi Simon Ekpa today, we'll still be hearing by now. You will go to court and they will come back and you will hear, oh, Umu Chineke, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is in high spirit. Also, he is asking me to greet each and every one of you, and you should keep on remembering him in your prayers. He will soon be blah, blah, blah. All the while that Karo White have been in this case, what Karo White and Ezekome I will bring a Ezekome picture maybe in the evening. I will bring both of their picture. We're going to discuss about them in the evening. When I come back from work, we'll discuss about Ezekome in the evening. Ezekome and Caro White in the dungeon. He should be sent to prison. Let him just be in the prison where people can. What is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? But when you ask this lawyer, this so-called lawyer of Mazi Nnamdi, what did your client commit that he deserved to be in prison? He cannot prove anything. But for you to know that why Ifeanyi Ejiofor is pushing for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to be in prison is where Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will be, and the people will just forget him there. Because you as a lawyer will not advocate for your client to be sent to prison when he will not be proven guilty. What you should be advocating for is for your client to go home, to be coming to court from home until at the time he will be proven guilty of the charges, all the frivolous charges that was leveled against him. But you as a lawyer, we are the one advocating for the court that you are defending your client from, that they should send him in prison without proof that he commit the offense he's being charged of or not. If not for Mazi Simon Ekpa, when Mazi Simon Ekpa begin to make a move and begin to tell the people that there's something wrong in the lawyers that are defending Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. I know how long it takes Mazi Simon Ekpa before he begin to voice it out, because that time the thing is already, it have already spoiled something. But had it been Simon Ekpa come from the onset, from the one, because it's already know, he know everything that happened and what Ejiofor, the role of Ejiofor in the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu kidnap. But if he started earlier, even the Biafrans will stone him. Because everybody trusted this Judas, just like Jesus and the disciples trusted Judas and even make him a treasurer of their money. But he is the one that are looking for a way. How much are you going to pay me for this, my master? I'll hand him over. And he came and kissed him and told them, hold him very fast. That is what Ejiofor did to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. He kissed our leader and told the Nigerian state, hold him very fast. Do not allow him to go. Do not release him. Do not allow him to do anything on his own. But this is the same man that when the horrible incident that happened in his house happened, he came out to tell the Biafrans how he's the most trusted of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. But the same most trusted of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, I can't find him anywhere close in the court yesterday in the case of his so-called trusted, his client that trusted him the most. If Mazi, this Caro White, has claimed that he was the most trusted of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, where is he in this law court? And where is Ezekome? The Bible quoter, the one that will come and quote for you how God will do this. But he forgets those Bible quotations when he finds himself in the camp of the kidnappers. The Bible quotations all of a sudden run out of his mouth, and he begin to look for a way to be released. And he was bailed, he was paid a ransom for, and he was released. And afterwards, those that kidnapped him was found, and the Ezekome made sure that those people go in prison and that he get adequate compensation So, Ezekome did not advocate when he was captured, he himself. He did not advocate, oh, those my semblance, those my people that are running around, running from pillar to post, seeking for a way that I will be released. Stop disturbing yourself. I love it here where I am because the kidnappers, they are taking good care of him and all that. But Ezekome and Ifeanyi Ejiofor, the Karo White, are all advocating, oh, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu should be sent into the prison. Let him just remain there. Let him just remain there instead of being under camera and other being watched and other being listened to at the camp, at the dungeon of the DSS. Why must you advocate that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu should be sent to prison and not to be sent back to Kenya where he was kidnapped from? This Ifajona that you're looking at in the screen by my right hand side was the one that is still making it impossible for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to be released. Is the one that told the Ohaneze and the Southeast governors that he had a meeting with before Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was extraordinary rendition, kidnapped and tortured. He was the one that told them that this case is in my hand, I'm controlling it. I'm already controlling the IPOP Nigerians, those that are in DOS. I'm already controlling them, so therefore, nothing is happening. You can keep him. If not for Simon Ekpa, today nobody will be talking about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu again. It was Simon Ekpa that made it possible that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is still being even brought to court and you will see him. Without Simon Ekpa, you will never set your eyes on Mazi Nnamdi Kanu again since that 2021 that he was kidnapped. You wouldn't have set your eyes on Simon Ekpa. That he was even brought to court is because people have advised them, like the former president of Nigeria, Olusegun Obasanjo, told his counterparts based on the same feather that this Simon Ekpa should be looked into, that this Simon Ekpa is going to be another resistance force to the tyrannical rule of Nigeria. And that is why Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was even brought to the court at this first place. If not, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will not appear in court. You will not see him anywhere. You will know what happened to him. You will not even know how it all happened. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu would have been announced missing since 2021 to date, if not for Simon Ekpa that come into the picture and begin to do the job. This man here would have sent our leader to a place that we will never see him again. Biafrans, our demand remains that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will be released unconditionally, because he commit no crime known to any man. Because the Nigerian terrorist state that kidnapped him till date for 3 years, you kidnapped him in 2015, keep him incommunicado for 2 years and still could not prove anything against him. You kidnapped him 2021, keep him for 3 years and still could not prove anything against him. What did this tell you about the Biafrans? We have been doing the right thing all the day long. We have never been the problem of Nigeria, rather the Nigerian state has been a problem of itself. And there's no way you will fight against yourself and you want another person to be receiving the pains and the wound. Because even the Bible said that if a nation rises against itself, it will not stand. Nigerian state have been rising against itself from the creation. From the day one that Lord Lugard created it, it has been fighting against itself and it will not stand. And we have ruled out that Nigeria, according to our leader, is irredeemable. And that is where we stand. And we will not do anything rather than total separation of Nigeria, total separation of Biafra from Nigeria, total emancipation of Biafrans from Nigeria, from anything that has to do with that name, Nigeria. We will not have it. We will not have it in our land. Because from the day one, they have treated us with inhuman, degrading treatments. 1967, 1970, they committed a genocidal act in our land. Is anybody talking about it today? The answer is no. Is anybody going to talk about it? The answer is no. Who is going to talk about it? We, the Biafrans. If we did not talk about it and set the record very straight, nobody will do it for us. That is why you that is listening must sit up and do the needful. The only chance we have to survive and live as a people in this space that have been given to us by God is only one way. And that only one way is separating ourselves, going back to who we used to be before the British came. If we fail to do this, our name have refused to give up. And is not ever going to give up on the quest of the total emancipation of the Biafran people. Biafrans, I thank you that today. They sit at homes and the civil disobedience that you are exercising today is what that is making our leader to stand very strong, knowing that those he's fighting for is strongly behind him. I want to thank our Prime Minister Mazi and the Biafra Republic government in exile for the wondrous work they are doing. Continue the good work. Elohim will reward each and every one of us, everyone that is campaigning and agitating that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will be released. It doesn't matter which ethnic nationality that person is coming from or which country that person is coming from, so long as we are advocating for the truth we always seek for. But if you are in any means, any that are fighting against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, that are for the opinion advocating that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu should not be released unconditionally. The truth you fight will fight, and that posterity will never be kind. Biafra is the only goal of the Biafrans. Biafra is the only goal of the Biafrans. There is no alternative, and there is no antidote, and there is no shortcut to what the Biafrans are demanding for. The only thing the Biafrans are demanding for is a total freedom of the Biafran people. And that is the only thing we are going to accept. And that is the only thing we are going to live with. And that is the only thing we want from the Nigerian state. Nothing more. Anybody that is bringing any other thing on the table is doing that at his own will. Is doing that at his own peril. Is doing that at his own risk. Because the Biafrans has made their intentions known to everyone. So I want to congratulate Biafrans for standing very strong, demanding for one thing, because many of them has believed that, so long as Ifajuna sold out, so long as Ziki was sold out, so long as many other people that was giving money sold out, Biafrans, once you give them money, they will sell their brothers. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu Simoneba has proven them wrong, that it is not true. Remember, the next court date is coming up by 19th and 20th of next month. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu should be released unconditionally on that court date, and not redress or any kind of bail terms. He've not committed any crime, and that is the way it will remain. Thank you so much, Biafrans. Do well as you come in to share this program, like, subscribe, and hit on the notification bell, that whenever we are live, you'll be notified. We are here to bring it to you as it is happening, and to let you know the things that you need to know about what is happening around Biafrans and their demand for freedom. God bless you so much. We're going to call it a day from here. When I come back from work in the evening, we will continue from where we stop. We will continue from where we stop. In the evening, I'm going to bring the picture and the video, if possible, of Ozekome and the things they normally say in the court. And at the end of the day, one thing is what they are demanding for from the Nigerian state. They are not demanding for judgment. They are not demanding for anything. They are not demanding for justice for their client. What they are demanding is that their client should be sent in prison. Which means those that are claiming that they are the lead counsel of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu are also judging Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, are also working against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Because what they want is for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to be sentenced in prison. Should be sent. When you say when you are advocating that your client should be sent in prison when he have not committed any crime, what are you saying? What you're saying is that he should be sentenced to prison and be forgotten there. When you should be advocating that this man has committed no crime. Your court, your lawyers have not proven any point against him. He should be released unconditionally. But the table has been overturned. Remain focused, Biafrans. Remain steadfast. Remain consistency. That is the very words of our leader. He said consistency is the key. And he's living these words with example. He's not just saying it. He's not the type that say, follow my words, don't follow my action. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will tell you, follow my words and follow my actions. He's a consistency personified human being, and many of us that are helping, that are joining, are among these categories of people that you cannot push around. Thank you so much, Biafrans. I salute each and every one of you. Don't forget, in the evening, we'll be coming up to discuss about these people. And Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will be released in no time. He will be released unconditionally. Thank you so much. Do have a faithful day and a lovely day today. May today be kind to you and favor you. May you not run into any form of accident, both home domestic accident or road or work accident. May the good Lord guide you. May the good Lord protect you. May the good Lord provide for you those things that are needed to make sure that our Biafra is being formed. May he guide you in the path that leads to righteousness. The righteousness of today is you standing on the truth and saying it, and helping to make sure that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is released from the hand of the terrorist. Thank you so much, Biafrans. Nyamara onye ọwụna mma. Ụtụtụ ọma, ụmụnne m. Daalụnụ. See you in the evening. God bless you.